Okay, it's 3:16 p.m. John 3:16, 3/1/2022, this Tuesday. It's Eastern Time, East Coast in New Jersey. Alright, I felt I needed to come on here prompto. As we know, there's so many things going on. I'm very weary. There's so many videos I could have done in the past several days here. So much information and footage and cross, I guess you could call them cross confirmations and dreams and visions and everything else going on here. I guess you could say this is a real warning concerning a cyber attack, the lights, communication, phone, and everything else. I made a video about this, I don't know, 2, 3, or 4, whatever it is, 4 days ago, about cyber threat, and it's expected to happen across the United States, especially Hawaii, and who knows where else, and how severe or whatever might happen, or how soon. But this seems like it's imminent and ready to happen. So anyway, quickly, I almost forgot. I feel I must mention this at the start. There was a dream or what have you saying that, or vision stating that there's going to be, God told them this, there's going to be, lights out situation, everything, cyber attack, and that when that happens, that would mean Jesus is ready to take us. I don't put stock in just one specific dream or vision, though I'm stating this because there's other things that I've heard, other visions, and they all seem to correspond and go together. Also, fire in New York, something's going to happen, an explode, and then shun, and then followed by a tsunami. This is what I'm getting, this is what I'm hearing from, dreams and visions also. Again, I don't just follow dreams and visions and put, all my cards or all my eggs in one basket, but this is what I'm sensing and feeling very imminently and strongly with what's happening in the world, and also, again, dreams and visions and what I sense and feel, and reports that this is about to take place. So anyway, Draverd sent these comments to me, and I have to start at the bottom because you'll understand what happened. His comments were deleted, then he had to repost them, and they're in jumbled order. So I'll start at the bottom where you could see we went back and forth, and he finally said that YouTube deleted my comment. I will break it down so you can read it in the notifications. So I'll go through them. There's several different comments. He puts them in sentences and in different comments and to explain the whole thing. But then I responded, and this is what my response was. So as you can see, I said, I saw some of your comments here. There were 8 of them, but not all appeared in the notifications, especially at first when I first saw them. Then after that, only 2 remained there. Something is going on and may be about to happen, and internet may possibly become in jeopardy soon, or even permanently, including power. I was thinking about making a video stating this very thing just a little while ago, so I think I will now. If electric and communications and internet begin to have problems, then it might become more serious and indicate Jesus will arrive immediately. Many other serious events could start to also take place simultaneously or in stages around the same time. So I'll get to that in a second, but I wanted to share something from 4 months ago from a La Palma video that I did, and this is what he wrote me that happened to him. And Draverd has been having some pretty remarkable signs. He shared others with me. I don't know if he wants to repeat some of them, if he desires to go over them again, that's fine, that's good. But anyway, here's what he said. I have to share a sign. The day after watching this video, my monitor suddenly has a burned-in image. There's a white line going across most of the screen from left to right. Then part of the title is burned into my screen. That's called screen burn. The part that says quakes coming, 8-1 till eruption map and breakoff is burned in. I watched this video in full screen last night, so the text was on screen for a short amount of time. Not only that, I watched other videos afterwards before resting. It was not there then. Now today it is suddenly burned in on my monitor. So I asked him if any other incidences since that happened, and I think he said no, that just that one time. And it's, it seems like it happened, maybe it was kind of a sign, not just an accident. So what that title meant was that I was showing all the earthquakes from August 1st until La Palma erupted. I showed it on a map, and also where it indicated the breakoff area. So I still firmly believe that this event with La Palma is going to take place regardless of the considerations that I've also known of and others have mentioned, and with regard to a Poseidon missile that could also bring this about, whether there or just used elsewhere, let's say along the coast of the U.S., to take out a city or an entire coast. There's a lot I could say about that. Something else happened Sunday, events, and what I was seeing, I was led to this and that. I can't go into that here, but it relates to that and other signs and visions and the things that I've been led to in the past few days here. So my conclusion at this moment, just a general sense, is that it could involve both. It could involve something happening with La Palma, including something to set it off, and it could include such means, such technology that especially Russia possesses these Poseidon missiles that can do that purposely with a tsunami. Also, we know in Revelation that Babylon will be destroyed by fire, and all the people of the world, the nations will stand by and watch. Fallen is Babylon, that great city, etc., that's no more in one day, and they'll look off afar and see the smoke of its destruction rising. Well, I've been thinking all along, well, how could a tsunami happen and then there's going to be fire? So maybe with the sequence of events could be that there's going to be fire first, some kind of event with New York, and then immediately, or whenever, probably immediately, this will happen with a wave. I don't know, but also involved in this, again, is at the same time some kind of cyber thing going on, maybe with the lights, again, electricity, communication, internet, TV, everything, that something like this could take place, and it might be ready to take place. And also it seems like this might happen quickly at around the same time, and also with the nuclear world situation and threat. So I think, what I mean is, I know, again, Jesus is going to take us out of here. So whatever happens, I think it's imminent, and I think Jesus' appearance is imminent, and then maybe the sudden destruction worldwide might be imminent after we're taken. There's no way I could go into anything of all I just said. I just gave you a general background. I don't know if I'm going to come back and discuss this and show and talk about these other videos and visions and signs. And they're all about tsunamis. They're all about tsunamis. East Coast, New York, also other fire occurring on the land of the United States, including maybe invasion, actual on our soil, and the Capitol with fire. And I don't really want to mention this because I don't know how much to put credence in this, but Barack O somehow being involved deeply behind the scenes, maybe at the head of all this. And then as we're gone, the tribulation begins, and the Antichrist, whoever that will be, will suddenly rise and create peace out of probably the sudden destruction, or maybe this is it with as far as um, nuclear exchange that might take place right after we're zapped out of here. I'm not going to speculate. I don't like that, speculating about who the AC may be, but I'm just putting that out there because he seems to be some kind of major force behind things that are going on behind the scenes, and perhaps will be once we're out of here. Again, I'm going to get to that in a second. It's very important, but again, I want to say that I want to say this nicely too. I really don't like to go into things on my channel with comments, like if I mentioned who I just mentioned, BO, and then start to go off on that tangent and say all kinds of things about that, or really it could involve anything, any topic, any dream, any, symbology or whatever. So I mentioned him. I'm just going to leave it at that place, and I really don't want to be involved with any, discussing that beyond that. I'm trying to say it nicely. I don't mean to, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to be involved in all of that, no matter what it is, whether it's whatever it could be, politics, nationalism, rapture, date setting, whatever, in encoding, numerology, any type of that. So let me get back to this before this gets way too long. So Draverd, or Drawverd, as he likes to be called, this is the sign 4 months ago that he had, and I'll get back to this situation now, this moment. So again, I'm working my way up here. They're in reverse order, so this is how he starts the conversation again. He said, "I believe I just had a huge sign that we are going home soon. I was watching a video and randomly my whole monitor went blank momentarily. Suddenly I was at the sign-in page for YouTube asking me to pick an account. I did not touch or click anything. To reiterate, the screen went black for an instant and I was instantly signed out. Then I was somewhere different that I cannot get to by accident. I would have had to sign out. Then I would have had to go click sign in. We fly soon." Postscript: I am not sure why, but the Holy Spirit has me share things specifically. Like, I want to share this with all the Christian channels that I watch, but he wants me to share it only here. Other times, he will have me share comment on other channels like Josh Sparrow, Sherry Rich, Kim Fisher, whatever. I guess that's slang for like whatever. I don't know, I'm making a joke. Maybe he's from New Jersey or something. Whatever. So whatever was the reason, no, there you go, whatever, for this happening to Draverd. Like I said, you saw the first incident 4 months ago, which was very interesting. That seemed like a sign, and it still pointed to La Palma. Maybe God was trying to emphasize that that's going to happen also. I don't know. I'm just saying, and that here now he felt absolutely only to share this with me for some reason. So it is very possible that this is going to happen and could happen extremely soon here. And also, it's also very possible that it could be a sign that Jesus is going to take us out of here any moment, because this would be the start of everything, really. Especially if it is or would become or whatever, very serious situation, because of course every single thing in the modern world relies on electricity, every single thing, and communication. It was said in the video that I did about this probability of a cyber attack, which I made 3 days ago. The person, whoever it was, said that it would be a nightmare scenario. Just think about it. Suddenly, like right this moment, there was no electricity. Now, and then you start thinking, well, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to cook. I have to take money out of the bank. Heat relies on electric. Unless you have wood or whatever kind of heating method. Internet, communication, TV, lights, appliances, every single thing imaginable. So yes, it would be a nightmare scenario if something like that happened, especially if it lasted more than a day or two and other events started happening. Now, I went through Hurricane Sandy, and the electric was out for, I forget, maybe almost a couple of weeks, and we got through it, but there was also standby electric in where I was living, at least for lights, and electric for communication, charging phones and whatever. So it was tolerable. And then we had sternos for heating food and pans with racks and so on. But of course it wasn't at a time like we're at this second here with everything going on with potential war and even nuclear, Russia, Israel, Iran, Lebanon, Damascus. I was thinking of doing an update video yesterday about that, and those countries I just mentioned in those areas are exactly what's taking place right this moment. There's been a flare-up. Israel feels like it's back against the wall, so it was forced to strike into Iran and also Syria, trying to be a threat to Israel through the backing that's being sent to them from Iran and Russia in Syria. So if Israel does anything whatsoever toward Syria, then Russia just said that's it. They're not going to stand by. They don't recognize the Golan Heights to the northern border between Syria and Israel. Neither do they anymore recognize the jurisdiction of Israel over Jerusalem. Oh, I messed up. Anyway, to restore world order, the AC to come in, if I didn't mention that, I clicked it off. Anyway, that was the next video I was thinking of doing yesterday, the day before. I thought of doing this video about this so-called destruction of the old world order, and I believe that took place, and I believe there was significance for certain specific reasons regarding the elite and occultists and astrology and everything else, that February 22nd, 2022, all twos, that this was sort of a turning point of that happening, though it may not have seemed like it. It's like the transition day. I won't get into this here, and I don't mean to make this so cryptic and mysterious and emphatic in me saying that, but I do think from everything I've been following all along about numbers and all of this, what may be encoded, February 22nd, 2022 was some kind of big day, a transition day that marked the destruction of the old world order to the transition of heading into the new order of the world. So if there's a conflict and the whole world becomes engulfed and destroyed and there's destruction, it is the end of the old world as we knew it. Or as REM in their song said, it's the end of the world and we know it. So it's not the end of the world in the sense that the world will be over and there's no more world. But historically, culturally, geographically, governmentally, economically, if I didn't mention that, socially, spiritually, every way that will arise from the ashes of the phoenix, the risen phoenix, which that represents once that happens. Because once Jesus returns, and after the 7-year tribulation, let's say Jesus returns whenever, imminently here, any moment, then there'll be 7 years, and then comes the millennium. So the millennium is not even a decade off, if that's what's going to happen here. If you know what I mean about the end of the old world order and the new true order is the millennium. That's the new order. New starting over, the world made new again, a whole different setup completely with Jesus ruling and reigning. However that is going to be or work out, it's going to be brand new, something totally different, even culturally and all the other things, though I'm sure, especially with Israel, that as a nation, as a culture, will survive. Very, very few will be left. And also, I guess, whatever cultures or nationality after that, I don't know how it's going to work, but it's going to be something brand new, sort of like the second Noah's flood, and then those who emerge will sort of start over, start the world again, and repopulate it. So it's very interesting, but I believe firmly the beginning of the destruction of the old world order as history, as man has known throughout all of history, has basically come to a close. Not completely here. We're still existing as we were, but it's about to end. All of this, really, all of past history in so many ways. And children who will be born in the millennium. Could you imagine being born in the millennium? Jesus is there, you're born, and you grow up in all of this, and you think it's normal, however the way the world is going to be with Jesus there, and all the saints who are redeemed and reigning with him on the earth during the millennium. And then however things transpire and people reproduce, and there's more and more humans till the end of the millennium. Then there's another final revolt when Satan is loosed at the very end to try to destroy God, Jesus, and us. Crazy. And I guess those believers who will be alive, who are saved at that time, and Jesus will destroy them. Fire will come down and just annihilate them all. And that will be it. That's the end of everything. Entirely the end of mankind's history. It's just incredible. And then we have the new eternal order, the new Jerusalem, the heavenly, the replica on earth, the replica of creation in its eternal form and state, with every redeemed believer existing in the New Jerusalem of God, the holy city, which will come down to earth. New heavens and a new earth. I can't touch on what that phrase means or the meaning of it or go into that, but that there won't be any more human beings except all the redeemed, and that's it. No more procreation. All the unsaved will horribly, horribly be in hell forever, evermore, in torment. Okay, I'm ending here. Again, I'm very weary, so much stuff going on. I'd like to show more videos, maybe of dreams and visions, but I don't know if I'm going to get to that. I don't know what's going to happen here, how fast or not, and what I'm going to do, but this was a good sort of introduction to that and showing where things might be at this moment, and especially some kind of power issue with the power going off is possible, and a cyber threat. Whoever or whatever might instigate that, okay? But basically, they're all set to destroy the old world order. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put up this image here. It's very interesting that I came upon this just about an hour ago, thinking about all this and doing this video and now mentioning it. Let me show you what it says to really drive home what I'm saying. Watch this photo. I'm not sure how well you're able to see this, but there's Putin with his arms out, all right? This is from Yahoo. This is just the news from Yahoo that I just saw. I don't know if you could read this, but it says just that. Longtime Russia expert issues Putin nuke warning. Vladimir Putin is trying to take down the entire world order, veteran Russia expert Fiona Hill said. But there are ways even ordinary whatever, continuing. But it says not too late for him to turn back. So I find that very interesting. Just what I was thinking the past few days of doing a video about this, how interesting this all is, and kind of and pretty sorrowful too, that all of the history, all the way, everything that's happened, cultures, our people's memories and so on, of their lives in the past, and generations and relatives and nationalities and everything, different cultures and so on, with their different, even foods, or you know what I'm saying, everything that distinctively each culture, each race, each nationality has, that makes them distinct in that way, basically is about to end. And that's what this means. Putin is trying to take down the entire world order. But it's not just him. This is the plan. This is what they're all up to. So that's the big picture, not just what's happening with the Ukraine, which can be looking at it myopically, or just like blindedly, just looking at that one issue, when it's the whole overall plan, all right, that the evil ones are doing, that Satan wants to do, to come against Israel and destroy it, and then bring in the Antichrist. Oops, I said the word. Bring in you-know-who to restore peace, and whom Israel will accept as their Messiah in the place of Jesus Christ. God is going to show them, well, I can't go into this. I don't want this to be taken down or whatever, this video, but basically that, I'm going to give you your wish, and it's not Jesus. You didn't accept my son, who is the Messiah, and so this is who you'll get in place, and then you'll see what happens, and he'll turn against them. Any believer who goes against him will be beheaded. Who goes against this ruler, this AC, this man of sin, who will eventually become indwelt by Satan himself at the right time there during this period. It's just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. And the final point is, of course, the main issue is prophetic, is what's been predicted. So what's going on with Russia and Gog, again, Gog, the leader of Magog, who seems definitely to be Putin, if this is the moment and he's the one, and this is what's, according to what's happening here. And don't forget, he has the backing of major other world powers, including with their war arsenal, their weaponry, and he's already calling in, recruiting those from Syria right now, who I believe are right there, who've been sent. I think they're in Ukraine right now, also becoming a part of that. So it's not just him against the world. It's just that he's going to be leading all the others who are sort of behind the scenes right now, not seemingly directly out in the open. But this is going to change, and they're all going to come against Israel, and they're all going to be on Putin's side and join in together. That would be including China, probably North Korea, and of course all the hostile Middle East countries who hate Israel and want to take back Jerusalem for themselves, and do not recognize Israel's sovereignty as their land given to them by God himself, that no one can take away, no matter how hard they try. Once more, it's for his namesake, for God's namesake, of his plan, salvation plan throughout the ages into eternity, that he's chosen Israel for this purpose, and he will fulfill his word. And that's the reason for all of this, even in the face of the Jews having totally, more or less, rejected his son as Messiah to pay for their sins, as in fulfillment of Scripture, even that. So I don't know what's going to happen or how soon or not, but as far as the electric goes and cyber threat or whatever, so I don't know how many more videos there might or might not be. So this is sort of a heads up and a warning. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's good I'm doing this video to show you to take comfort, because I explained what I went through with Hurricane Sandy, and we got through that. It really wasn't too bad when you consider everything. We ate, we had some light, so just be prepared with that way. And if anything happens, you'll get through it. And I really believe that if this happens, this, will be the start of things, of Jesus' return, and then the fulfillment of Bible prophecy right after that. So whether it's a marker or sign, it could very well be. So if something happens, just as I'm saying, I got through it, but Jesus is coming, Jesus is coming, Jesus is coming. That's the word. That's what's the issue is. That's the message here. All right? So just take heart. Take heart. Even though we see all these things come to pass, look up, because your redemption draws near. Putting it in a rapture context. Okay, everybody, that's it for now. See you later.